Hello everyone, I'm Sharon. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a makes video. Everything I sewed in February and March, I'm going to model for you. The Cashmerette Appleton dress. Now before we start, I have to admit, I sewed this dress more than a year ago just to test the fit. I had been asked to sew an Appleton dress when Cashmerette first introduced the new size range of the 0 to 16. Now, this particular one, I recently removed from the magic closet where it hung for the last year, waiting a hem. Yep, that's right, just a hem. You see, I didn't think I liked this dress. Honestly, I'm still not 100% sure if I do. The waist high is right below my bust, and my actual waist is about 2 inches below the side seam opening where that tie goes through. I don't know, maybe that's why I don't like it. I do like that this one does not gap when you bend over, and there's a pretty decent overlap for the wrap. The fabric is a cotton jersey from S.R. Harrison, Minnesota, and the dress is a size 10 with a G-cup option. This is my first quarter fabric marked Fabricista make. There's 3 patterns that I used here. The knit top is the Cashmerette Concord Tee. The pants are from the BurdaStyle magazine, August 2019, number 120. And the overshirt is the BurdaStyle Aug Logan Shacket. This entire look is a little more subdued than what I normally wear. I wanted to sew separate so that I could get more wear out of the garments that I'm sewing. Each one of these pieces here can be worn with something else that I already have in my closet. This gray knit is a really nice basic casual tee. It's a lightweight rayon knit. The pants are cargo inspired and they're sewn out of a cotton polyester twill. I really liked that fabric. The shacket is a polar bear white cotton twill. It's not as soft as the pink twill, but it was also a very nice fabric and it was perfect for the shacket. The shacket I sewed is a size 10. There are side seam pockets, a collar and a collar band, and a back yoke. I top stitched it in tan thread, but when it was done, I realized that you couldn't even see the top stitching, and it really was just much too blah for me. So I dug into my vintage laces, played around with the placements, and stitched them in place. It's asymmetrical, which I like, and I was also able to use vintage buttons from my stash, so that was pretty cool. It is unlined, but I think I'm going to go back and line the sleeves to make it a little bit easier to get on and off. Here I paired the tee and the shacket with my Itch to Stitch Quebec skirt. You know, every time I wear this skirt, I wish I had gone down one size for a more fitted look. By the way, here's a little trick I use to get that French tuck on some of my t-shirts. I take the front of my t-shirt, I scrunch it together, and I take a hair binder, wrap it around it, and then I take that and tuck that inside my skirt or my pants. This rose-colored tee is one of my recent makes. I've paired it here with that Quebec skirt again. It is the Itch to Stitch Glenelly tee, and it's a cotton jersey from Style Maker Fabrics. This tee is another one of my favorites. The fabric I had purchased to sew a STYLE ARC Lorna knit top because I unexpectedly loved the test version I had sewn. But it was a disaster. This fabric just didn't work for that top. It really needed a softer, drapier knit. Lesson learned. I was able to salvage enough of the knit to sew this Glenelly top, but I had to shorten it. I know that cropped tops are in right now, but the length is really bugging me. I might have enough scraps left over to add a little more length to it. Here's those pink pants again. So I sewed a size 42, which is equivalent to a size 16 in the big 4 patterns. They're high-waisted. I'm still getting used to wearing this style. And the pants close with a button and the waistband, and they have a fly front zipper. The pockets are so big. I absolutely love that. But the flaps there underneath the pockets, those are just for looks. Now I had found 1/2 inch D-rings at Hobby Lobby and added them with twill tape at the hemline per the pattern. I love the look on the model. I hated it on me. It looked silly. Oh, darn my short legs. I ended up cropping them off, and I might take another inch off. This is the Cashmerette Carlyle tee. This pattern was the March pattern for the Cashmerette Club. It has a banded square neck with puff sleeves. The neckline and sleeve can be mixed and matched with the Concord tee. Well, the Concord tee is one of my favorite tee patterns, so I was really happy about that. I sewed my normal 10 with the G-cup option, grading to a 12 at the waist and back to a 10 at the hip. I had been asked to sew the March, April, and May patterns for the Cashmerette Club, so this was sewn back in January, but I couldn't share it until the pattern was released. The fabric here is an ITY knit from Super Textiles. This purple one, this is the first Carlyle tee that I sewed. It was just supposed to be a test. The neckband is a little bit loose on this one, and that was changed in the pattern before it was released. I didn't grade back to a 10 at the hip line, and it is too large in the hip line. The fabric is a pre-cut bundle that I bought at Walmart for $6. It's a baby French terry. I didn't expect to wear this, but I ended up liking it so much that I've worn it frequently, and it never fails to draw compliments when I'm wearing it. The French terry really holds the shape of the sleeves very well, I think. And here's another version. This is a double brush knit from Joan Fabrics. Two things that are very unusual for me. Double brush knit and Joan Fabrics. It makes a great winter top because it's quite cozy. After I finished sewing this one, I figured 3 Carlyle t-shirts was enough. Oh wait, what's this? Another Carlyle tee? Not really. I used the Concord scoop neck and I shortened those puff sleeves. The knit is a very lightweight hot pink that I bought, I think, at Mart Fabrics. Now, the skirt. The Gilmore skirt is the April pattern for the Cashmerette Club. I sewed this one back in January also, and I sewed a size 14. This circle skirt is adorable. I love how it turned out. You might recognize the striped fabric if you've been watching my videos for a while. It was in a fabric haul from Metro Textiles. It's a linen blend and it was really kind of stiff. Thanks to all of you that shared the tip to soak it in Coca-Cola and then wash it. It did loosen it up a little bit. There's only 3 skirt panels, so matching the stripes was rather simple. I even matched them in the back with the invisible zipper. The waistband is fitted and it is interfaced, and the hem is a narrow hem stitched in place with my machine. Here I've paired it with my bright orange Butterick 3124, which is a Sandra Bezzina pattern from 2001. Another one of my favorite patterns. This is the Style Aug Joan top. This is the second time I've sewn this top. This is a size 12 with no full bust adjustment. I chose my size based on the finished garment measurements provided on the pattern. There's a center front and a center back seam, cuffs on the grown-on sleeves, and a neckline facing. I did raise the neckline by 1 inch. While I loved the first one I sewed, I did feel like the neckline was a wee bit too low. The fabric, okay, can we just stop and admire it? It's a lovely, lovely rayon crepe from Style Maker Fabrics. Sometimes you have one of those fabrics that is just a dream to sew, and that was this fabric. I know this isn't the most exciting top, but I sure do like it. Well, I think you can tell that I loved that Carlyle tee. I have more of those in my future. If you like makes videos, check out my makes playlist. Until I see you in the next video, I hope you have a blessed day and happy sewing.